Oh no. No, this is a problem. This is bad. Some of you are making a big mistake when setting up your Rover profile. It's almost certainly reducing the traffic to your page and the number of clients you're getting. As someone who consistently shows up first in search in my area, let's go through some of your profiles, talk about some tips, and talk about how to optimize. So I'm just going to be jumping around the USA, trying to find an example here and there. Side note, if I do pick your profile, if for some reason the algorithm finds you on YouTube, just know this is meant to be constructive, not bashful in any way, shape, or form. I hope it's helpful. So this is just supposed to be like real, helpful advice. Nothing too serious, but things to optimize your profile. Think we just found our first problem. Let me know in the comments which of these 5 profiles you think I have an issue with, because the reason's actually kind of subtle, but it's very important. But yeah, it's gonna be our friend Jacqueline O here, and if you got it right, and you think it's because of the sideways picture, you actually just got lucky, because that's not the real reason why I'm picking Jacqueline here. Although the picture doesn't help, and it does take people a split second longer to recognize what they're looking at when the picture is sideways, it's not the main reason. The main reason is actually the tagline. It's the "I'm a cat mom but care for all pets." Now, it's totally fine to be a cat person on this app, and in some areas it's actually helpful. And that's why you don't want to walk that back. And I get it, you don't want to appear that you're exclusively just going to care for cats, and you're trying to cast that wider net to hopefully catch more clients. But unfortunately, it's actually doing the opposite for you. And this is happening because, let's put yourselves in the shoes of a dog parent. So a dog parent looking for a caretaker, they scroll across your profile and they see that you're a cat person, but you care for all pets, and they think to themselves, okay, so dogs aren't their main priority, maybe they have less experience with them, I'm gonna move on and go to someone else. Now, maybe you could predict that one, but even a cat parent who stumbles across your profile, they might see that and they're like, oh, I'm really looking for a specialist, and that's all that they do. All of their attention's focused on cats, so I know that my cat's getting the highest level care possible. So instead of casting this wide net and catching everything, you're casting a big net, but there's tons of holes in it, and everything's just going straight through it. You like this analogy? I'm not sure I like it, but that's what I've gone with. Especially being near LA, you really gotta find a way to stand out. You really gotta make your profile pop. So either go all in on being a cat caretaker, or find a tagline that's, less in the middle. Let's see what Columbus has got for us. Experienced dog trainer, picture of person and dog, person and dog. I got something to say. Public service announcement related to taglines, and this is going to be tough for some of you to hear. Please don't use any form of the word positively in your profile. Please. It's so cringy and it pops up constantly on these profiles, and I just can't quite put my finger on why that might be. Sorry, that's kind of just a personal vendetta against the word. I'm sure it'll work for someone's first time on the website, but it gets old real quick around here. Find an example of like a good tagline just to give you an idea of what that could look like. Like, this is fine, but it's a little basic. Comedy always works unless it's a bad pun. Yeah, who let the dogs out? I did. Will care for your dogs like my own. Home, that's helpful and tells you information if you are doing like a doggy daycare or something, like a little information about where they would be staying. That's helpful. Here we go. So I like this one a lot. Talking about Maddie R here. I'll center it on your screen. So I like this tagline a lot. I love my fear reactive pup. And the reason being is that Maddie's created this kind of sub niche that they now have. So they have a fear reactive pup. So any pet owner who's, kind of browsing through the profile is going to see this, and maybe their pup is anxious. Maybe their pup gets nervous or scared when they're left alone or with new people. You know right here and now that Maddie's going to be the person for you. Reason being because they have experience in this field. So they automatically get drawn to Maddie's profile. It's just a type of tag name that creates action, and that's kind of what you need. Yes, we're looking to not be ruled out as pet caretakers, but at some point we need action to be taken to actually be booked and not just not be ruled out. And it creates action without shouting at you. Susan, I'm sorry, but stop yelling at me. Susan has more reviews than me, too. And more repeat clients. Okay, I'm going too deep into this. So I've been scrolling for a little bit, looking for a profile that I think I could really use some help and I could really give some good tips for everyone out there. Once again, this is supposed to be constructive. This is not supposed to be bashful. So hopefully you take this as some helpful tips. Let's dive into it and talk about it a little bit more. So this profile here, I think it's really doing a disservice to Jessica. I'm sure Jessica's lovely. However, there's some things I want to address on this profile. First things first, the profile picture. You don't appear to be, smiling or happy. And before anyone jumps on me for, asking someone to smile, listen, you can do whatever you like in your own life. I don't smile all the time. That's completely fine. But specifically for a profile picture, if they're scrolling through and they see someone who's neutral faced or, even frowning potentially, they're probably just going to keep scrolling. They're never even going to get to your profile to see what you offer, to see maybe they would ask you to care for their pet. And there's other pictures on your profile here where I can see that you're happy, you're enjoying yourself, you like doing this, but that profile picture really isn't showing that, so they're never getting to that level of seeing these other pictures. Another thing I want to take a look at here is going to be your profile description. Like, this is your chance to really tell pet parents why you love what you do. Talk about some awesome stories you have, really dive into the depth of your experience too. You just have a couple sentences written down here, and maybe you don't have a ton of experience, and that's okay. Just go into a lot of detail about that little experience that you have. Make sure that you're filling out this paragraph. Maybe you've had times where you went above and beyond to help out that family pet. Just really do what you can to spruce this up a little bit, because these two sentences isn't going to be enough to convince someone to book with you. Oh, what? Sorry, you have to take a look at this profile. It caught me completely off guard. Marianne, I don't know if you quite understood the assignment, but in another life, I'm a ferret. I mean, it's good enough for me. I, nah, no notes, no notes. And then finally, one last really important thing for everybody out there. Maybe you've moved on from this. Maybe you've decided that pet sitting's not really for you. But if you are trying to make this work still, we really need to be updating our calendars. Like, this is super important to keep that up to date because pet parents aren't going to reach out to you if they're not sure they're going to even get a response. They don't want to add another level of communication. They don't want to add another level of having to go back and find someone new to book with. So if we're not updating our calendar, we're probably not going to get very many requests. And maybe you're thinking to yourself, well, my availability hasn't changed, so I can't actually update my calendar. Well, you can. You can click that button to update your calendar, regardless if you are actually changing anything. But what this does, it tells the Rover app, it tells the pet parent that you've recently updated your calendar. So just do that every couple days. Like, make sure you're logging onto the app, you're clicking update. Even if nothing's even changed, this is just a good practice overall. Solo headshots are fine. Never hurts to include a picture of the pup or the cat with you in the profile. Yeah.
We talked about this. It's not the home run you think it is. If you think that I was going to hire a comedian, you best believe I would hire.
Free ice cream.
Oh, oh no, no, this is a problem. This is bad. don't even want to show you this profile. I don't want to put this person on blast, and it's not great because it's actually a very easy mistake. What I will do, will show you one picture from the profile, and we can take it from there. So this is what we're talking about, and you might be looking at this and thinking to yourself, what am I looking at? What is this? This is actually on someone's Rover profile, and it's not the only one of them. What this is, it's a key being returned to the owner. There's a lot of spare key spots being shown on this profile. That's not good. And how did this happen, you might ask? Well, actually, it's a really easy mistake to make, specifically when it comes to the Rover app. And when you are doing a booking that doesn't require a Rover card to be submitted. So we are not talking about dog walking or even drop-in visits. So we're talking about the boarding, we're talking about the house sitting. Don't require those Rover cards. So you can actually send the pictures just in the conversation that you're having with the client, to keep them up to date, just to let them know that, hey, things are going well here. Here's a couple pictures of your dogs. Unfortunately, Rover has this kind of like automatic feature that will automatically ask you if you want to send a picture you're sending to your profile page. Now, sounds like a helpful thing for Rover to ask if you want that. The problem is they automatically check it as yes. So if you're not really like scrutinizing over every single picture, you're just kind of taking the picture, sending it, there's a pretty good chance that you're accidentally sending pictures to your profile. Pictures that are kind of private and you don't want on your profile. And honestly, even if it wasn't private, like, well, what is this doing for your profile? It's not helping just to have a picture of a key and what may be a used tissue. So that is a pro tip for you. Make sure if you are not utilizing a Rover card, if you are just using the inbox feature, that you are unclicking that box. So you are not sending every picture you send also to your Rover profile. Now, if you make the changes I suggest, you might just earn yourself Star Sitter status on Rover. And no, I didn't just make that up. It's a real thing on the Rover app, and I walk you through it in one of my most recent videos here. What? What's that? Oh, okay. Anyways, go see your dogs. They miss you. No, really, go see them. And, have a positively perfect day.